So it's been a while, huh? I've been mainly posting on my main channel sometimes. Okay, fine. Maybe I'm just procrastinating, but we've all done that once before in our lives, right? Anyways, so a while back, my friend Seth sent me a package with a lot of cool stuff. This is your Told Me Edward video, by the way, Seth. And we were discussing our trade when he showed me this very Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Very bad custom of Mallard he made when he was young and full of life. Ignoring that, I agreed to fix it up if he sent it to me, which he did, and it was something. So I immediately got to work. Now before I start, I'm just going to make something very clear. This is not a tutorial, more it is rather a demonstration of how I do things. I'm very cheap and therefore these methods are not the best, nor are recommended, but again, I'm a broke bitch, so this is how I usually do customs. Now on with Mallard. So firstly, something I recommend all custom makers to do when they're preparing a model for customization is that if it's an already built model, always clean them because holy, what is this? Now that's disgusting. By the way, I found a spider web in Lord Harry's cat. Anyways, after using a wet cloth or a baby wipe to clean dirt, dust, corrosion, etc., comes the next part, removing the paint. Now because I'm lazy, I sometimes don't do this. But it is recommended if you don't want layers adding onto each other and making the model look ugly.
And I know what I'm talking about.
Don't ask why Spencer isn't in this image. He got clean on his own time. But listen, sometimes it's fine if some of the old paint doesn't come off. Just wash and scrape the most of it that you can so that it's not too terrible. After that, you could start painting. I always like starting with the body and the wheels first so that I can kill more time and I'm not getting mad about, waiting. For Mallard's blue, I use bright blue by Craftsmark as I like hand painting rather than spray because I cannot do all that waiting. So, and as for the wheels, I use red. Super exciting, I know. By the same brand. After a few layers, I had to fix and modify the smoke box areas. I don't know what it's called. Oops. And for this, I use Lamp Black by Artist Acrylic. I also used it to round out the top bit as she seems to have that in the books. Also, before anyone flames me, I know she's a guy, but in the books I always envision her as a girl growing up. Also, because this Spencer's a talking model, I had to find a way to work with the lamp sticking out on the left side of him, which I painted as shown. This did mean it was going to be hard to add this detail of the black on her running board to her buffer beam equally on both ends, but I decided when I have to line it red, then I'd fix it. While I was at it, I painted the back of her cab black, as Seth didn't do that in the original. There was also a technique my friend gaming showed, but I forgot, so I also added the black detail on the bottom of Mallard's tender, which when dried, allowed me to get started on the lettering, which I'm not really good at, being honest. Meanwhile, I painted her tender buffer beam red as I thought of what to do with the buffers, but we'll worry about that later. Meanwhile, I painted her nameplate yellow and not gold because I really did not feel like getting the gold paint out, especially since it's kind of glittery. So, anyways, I got her lining done and I eventually fixed the black spots from earlier that I didn't like with the red lining. Then I fixed the red lining later on with blue. For lining, I use a toothpick, but I have been thinking about getting pens, but not right now due to reasons. Anyways, back on to Mallard. I painted her buffers in gray by, you guessed it, Craftsmark. Then using dark gray by the same brand, I made these reflection patterns that Mallard had in her illustration. Also, I just realized Mallard doesn't have her wheels. Let's add those. Afterward, back with the toothpick and small paintbrushes, I blacked out her cab windows and reshaped her front windows Spencer had on the original model. which in this picture aren't good, but it'll be good later, trust. Then it was onto the lettering for her tender. Now I used pictures of the real engine for the reference, as in the Railway series, Mallard only has one illustration and it's her from the front, so using the real life reference, I found that the lining was very odd and specific. I don't know what the right word would be, but anyways, using a toothpick and my very chunky cadmium yellow light hue paint by Artist Acrylic, I was able to paint and patch the lining in the way it is on the photos. Specifically of her in her 1990 condition, as Thomas and the Great Railway Show apparently happens in 1990 according to the wiki. While I did that, I painted her handrails gray and added her chassis back on. Now, something rather curious I noticed that I do remember other users doing too is that on Seth's version of the model, the back of the tender had a red interior to whatever this is called, and from what I could tell, which was just an HO model of her, she doesn't have that. Quite odd, I'll admit. Then it was time for her face. Now, like I said, I always got the vibe that she was a girl, so I gave her eyelashes in the way they are in the illustration. I also shaped the eyebrows in the way they were in the book, and as for the mouth, the way I filled it was using a toothpick and wiping off any excess paint with a baby wipe. To finish the model, I painted the handrails, the plaque she had, guessing who was the one labeling her record, and the black detail on both her plaque and name board. Now this isn't in the books, but I liked it more for Mallard, so I gave her white rims like she has in real life, and I gave her little stripes for her name board and plaque. I was really tired, I really wasn't feeling it. And boom, that's Mallard. I'm honestly surprised with how well she turned out. Usually I'm not happy with my customs even if I refurbish them, but she came out pretty clean for her do-over. And now here are the before and after shots. Now I know there wasn't a lot of film shots, that's my bad, lots of storage needs to be cleaned out, but next time there will be, don't worry. I am still working on the L-Scale Thomas video. Sorry it's taken a while, just after Edison I really wanted to get back on my education grind, so the motivation to continue it didn't really come back. My bad! But on the plus side, there's currently an Edward in the works, which depending on when this video comes out, only the faces have been painted and are waiting for finalization. But yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if I'll post much this year. I really want to post more on this channel, especially since there are videos planned and concepts I want to talk about, but I really care about my main the most when it comes to YouTube, so I'm not sure if there will be much activity on this channel, so sorry. One more thing going back to Edward. The L-Scale Edward will be its own video, but I will not be appearing at Edison for anyone curious. I know I told some of you I might, but I have more important matters to attend to. But I hope you all have a fun time there anyway. Who knows, maybe I'll come to the show after. Only time will tell. But for now, all I can say is there is more content coming these next few months/years, and I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for watching.
We may be apart, and the distance may sadden our hearts. Wherever we stray, remember this day. Friends together.